As the ship manoeuvred her way into Mudros Bay, Harry picked out in the early dawn light an armada of vessels, dominated by the massively armoured HMS Queen Elizabeth, complete with 8 15-inch breech-loading guns, as well as torpedo boats and submarines. On the shore was arrayed a small city of tents and marquees. The next day the Lutzor pulled into the bay, carrying 1,700 men from the 1st and 2nd Companies and the Auckland Battalion. Here the men from the Lutzor and the Itonus practised boat landing and disembarkation drills. These had not been part of the training regime in Egypt, and must have led Harry to speculate what kind of challenges lay ahead. The weather was nasty, with rain and strong winds. Harry took a day off with a bad cold. He wasn't the only one. Private John Constance, also suffering breathing problems, reported that we were all issued with about a dozen packets of cigarettes and matches. Shocking as this may sound to modern sensibilities, tobacco was at this time considered a health supplement, good for relaxation and a cleansing tonic. The great majority of the soldiers who fought at Gallipoli smoked. Only now were the likes of Privates Constance and Palin to learn what lay ahead. The Australian and New Zealand troops, now officially combined into the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, ANZAC, were to be part of a two-pronged assault on the Gallipoli Peninsula, which lay at the mouth of the 38-mile strait called the Dardanelles. Winston Churchill, first Sea Lord and chief advocate of the offensive, was confident that he who controlled this narrow seaway controlled access to Constantinople, now Istanbul. He who controlled Constantinople controlled Turkey, Germany's ally against our ally, Russia. The superior firepower of the British and French navies, aided by amphibious landings to take out the Turkish defences, would, he said, clear the way in a matter of days. He spoke powerfully of the impact a successful invasion of the Dardanelles would have. He saw it as breaking the stalemate into which the war on the Western Front had settled. Are there not other alternatives, Churchill argued, than sending our armies to chew barbed wire in Flanders? More than that, such an offensive had the potential to end the war itself. In the Dardanelles, he urged, our armies are separated only by a few miles from a victory such as this war has not yet seen. As they wrote their letters home, it was clear that this apocalyptic rhetoric found an echo among the young men of the Canterbury Infantry Battalion, preparing themselves for the fighting to come. Everybody very happy tonight, Corporal Petrie wrote. Private Tuckwell was inspired by the sight of the huge fleet gathered in Mudros Bay. My word, it makes one feel as if he's having a hand in great matters, to be a part of such a great undertaking. Corporal Mostyn Jones couldn't wait. I wish they'd hurry up and let us get to work on the Turks. Sergeant Henry Kitson was ready too. I've got a good red beard to frighten the enemy. What they hadn't been told was that this grand, war-winning assault on the Dardanelles was originally to have been a purely naval operation, but that it had not proceeded to plan. The orange-selling Turks had anticipated a possible attack here and had mined the straits, resulting in the destruction of the British warship Irresistible, the damaging of another Inflexible, and the sinking of the French battleship Bouvet, with much loss of life. The Allied troops were being led to believe that their land assault was to back up the navy. They didn't know that it was now the other way round. At Mudros Bay, on that last evening before entering the war zone, Harry wrote one letter to his most regular correspondent, his 42-year-old unmarried sister Mary, back in Tunbridge. Did she receive it with dreadful apprehension, with a disbelieving shake of the head, or did she react with an unusual sense of pride that her feckless younger brother was at last doing something heroic, something that would make the world a safer place?